And good morning, everybody.
Love is in the air today.
So,
Hi everyone, I'm Tammy.
Hi everybody, Joel.
hold on.
You got an ad? What's up with that?
I gotta turn that off.
You gotta turn that off. Hi everyone, I'm Tammy. This is Tom. If you're joining us for the first
I
time,
have no idea
welcome.
what was going on.
Welcome. We're happy to have you here. We are the creators of the blog and this YouTube channel called Nutmeg Notebook. And this is where we share with you all about our whole food, plant-based lifestyle. And today is all about celebrations. It's anniversary time for us. And we are celebrating today our 43rd wedding anniversary. So very happy that we are.
I almost lost my chair. Did you see that?
Well, that would not have been good, honey.
Okay,
A trip to the emergency room is not on plan.
I'm
for
trying
today.
to check sound balance, folks. Sorry. I just got all discombobulated earlier right before the show. So.
You're okay. So we're celebrating our wedding anniversary today, and also my 9-year anniversary of being whole food plant-based. So Tom wasn't completely in at the beginning. It was about a year and a half or so after I dove in that he completely went plant-based. So we're celebrating about 8 years for him. So anyway, we're just excited that you all would be with us today and join us. We said we would do a Q&A, and I did not get any questions unless anything came in the email in the last 15 to 20 minutes before we went live. So we are just going to be winging it today and just having kind of a hangout. Can you relax now that everything's like
That camera's
going?
working. I think this camera's working. Okay, the sound is working.
I think everything's good, babe.
Jesse's here. Tiffany is here. Thank you, moderators, for being here.
Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you, everybody, for all of the anniversary wishes we've been getting from all across the country and from
really
around
fun.
the world. So
Yeah, from around the world is true.
Yeah.
It's so much fun for us. So we do have plans to celebrate later this morning. So
Yeah.
we'll be.
we are going out. Another benefit of the morning show is that we can do our show and then we can have a whole nother adventure later today.
Yeah.
So we are going to go on an adventure later today.
So we thank you guys also for joining us on Thursday mornings, since we just transitioned from a Sunday afternoon.
This is our second one?
This is our second Thursday morning.
So how's this transition going for you guys?
For us, it's good. Like Tom is able to set everything up the night before.
Yep.
So last night he set everything up, and so he doesn't feel like he has such a time crunch. And like you said, then once the show is over, we have the rest of the day.
Yeah.
So that's good too.
But what has evolved with this time change is our municipal waste trucks come on Thursday mornings. And the first one, which picks up the recyclable and trash bin, comes at 7 o'clock sharp. And so my focus has 2 weeks in a row now fallen off of getting the trash dumpster and recycle dumpster out there for the truck to come. And so I hear it coming down the street. I make the mad scramble down the stairs. I put on my outdoor slippers and I miss the truck. So then I go ahead and do a regular roundup that I usually used to do. And then I do a hack. I take it across the street because it goes down our side of the street. And then later in the morning, it comes back up the other side. So I am afforded a second chance.
Lucky for you.
To get the trash
well,
out.
You used to put it out on Wednesday night. And instead
now I'm
on
setting up
Wednesday
on
night
Wednesday.
you're setting up, and then on Thursday morning you're just thinking about the show.
Yeah.
So, but it'll all evolve. We'll get it back around
Yeah.
where it needs to be. So, so we are going to talk about. I saw what you put in the show notes about how it has going plant-based has kind of changed our
Outlook.
perspective and
Yeah.
our outlook for as we age,
Mhm.
and how that is going to look, and
Yeah,
the effect that being plant-based has on that.
And what was on my mind when I wrote that is I look at our friends here locally that are in their mid 80s. Some of them went plant-based, fairly recently, 5 years ago. And they are such active, vivacious youngsters. They are just going to town all the time. And I'm in my mid, trending towards late 60s. And these people that are like 20 years older than me make me go, wow, I get to like live a whole nother life now. This is just so interesting. The mindset that it gives you on the possibilities that your future can hold and the adventures that you can go on. So,
and what they say in comparing themselves to their friends who are not plant-based in their late 70s and 80s is that when they
in
get
some
together,
cases they're alive.
When they get together with them, they're all talking about their doctor's appointments and this surgery and that surgery and this prescription and that prescription. And, our friends who are plant-based, they don't have any of that to talk about. And so, for us, it just makes the future look more exciting.
Yeah.
Because we're not fearing like, well, we better go do everything we want to do right now because in 10 years we won't be able to do that anymore, because our friends who are in their late 70s and their 80s are just doing everything they want to do. Yeah,
we once heard from a friend that the is it 60s, 70s, 80s, or 70s, 80s, 90s? I think it was
just at first you have the go-go years.
The 60s are your go-go years. The 70s are your slow-go years. And the 80s are your no-go years. Well, we can back that whole progression up at least a decade because we're able to move around. So TS had a question a little ways up. I saw some question marks.
Oh, okay. And Jesse put in the chat feed, if you have questions, I got discombobulated and didn't do my housekeeping. If you have questions, we're happy to answer your questions in the chat feed. Just preface those with 3 question marks and end with 3 question marks, and that will just help them pop out. I see that Mary says, does date paste need to be refrigerated once it is open? Well, if you, I always refrigerate date paste, so whether I've made it myself or bought it from the date lady, I put it in the refrigerator or I'll put it in the freezer if I don't think I'm going to use it up in any kind of short amount of time.
Let's catch Cheryl, but let's go back up and grab TS's question.
Okay.
I didn't see what it was.
I got it. TS says, just bought for the first time sprouts and microgreens. Noticed that they need to be washed. Can you pre-wash, then dry, and store in the fridge? Well,
washing microgreens?
Yeah, she says that they need to be washed.
Oh.
So, well,
do
like our sprouts, I rinse them and then I put them in a container and then we put them in the fridge.
The ones that we grow.
Yeah, the sprouts that we grow.
Okay, but what about our store-bought sprouts? We're keeping right in the little bins they come in.
I don't know.
I
don't have the answer to that. That would be a good thing to Google, or if somebody here knows the answer to that, that would be good information
we ate
to know.
all the sprouts? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh no. Okay, I was going to look at what the label says.
Cheryl says, is there a reason you recommend the 15-inch Holland bowl rather than the smaller 13.5-inch bowl? Trying to decide. Yes, because when you shrink in diameter, you also shrink in depth. And so there is a big difference not only in the diameter between a 15 and a 13.5-inch, but also in how deep the bowl is. So when you go to that smaller diameter, it becomes more shallow and you won't have as much room for chopping. Can you grab that? That's a 12-inch right there.
A few bits get away from me even in the 15-inch bowl. Then I have to police up. But if I was chopping in,
so this is a 12-inch, and then we have
the 13 would be slightly bigger, but the salad would, like, to start with, would be rounded. It would fill this whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so what we have discovered is that the...
Let me get the 15.
Ooh, that was noisy, honey.
Sorry.
That the 15-inch is deep enough and big enough around in diameter that as you're chopping, everything stays within the bowl.
Yeah,
You
so...
have to be careful about smacking these.
Okay, sorry about yours, guys. Yeah, see, okay, here you can see how much, I mean, it fits way down in there.
Yeah.
So,
And if you just have them side by side, you can see there's a really big difference.
be very gentle.
Thank you. It's a really big difference in the depth of the bowl. So, so that's why we recommend the 15-inch.
Yeah,
Plus,
this
then
would
if
work
you-
for herbs
you cut me
or...
off.
Oh, keep going.
Plus, if you want to, like at a potluck, or you're having family over or whatever, if you want to be able to serve salad out of this, you really need this because by the time you chop it and then you add all the other ingredients to it, then the bowl is quite full. But then you can actually serve out of it too, because when we have a group of people over, then we'll serve out of it.
I could not stir, in line with the batch prepped salads that Tami makes up for us. The chopping is, like she was saying, just the beginning. But then I'm adding some corn. I'm adding some rice. I like to add about 3 stalks of celery. I add 8 ounces of beans, and sometimes I sneak a couple extra tomatoes in there. I add a variety of whatever microgreens we have. I just do a whole variety of those because those are just like packed with goodness. And I like the texture they give the salad overall. And then a tablespoon or 2 of vinegar. And then I stir it. I stir it all up. And I would need all of this volume for the stirring of all those ingredients. I would have a mess all over the counter using this. So that's why we advocate the 15. This you kind of use as like a fruit bowl. A secondary fruit bowl.
Or it could be used for chopping herbs too. Sia's here. Hi, Sia. Thanks for joining us until her group starts at 9:30.
Okay.
So we hope that answers your question on that. We do have some YouTube videos where we show the different bowls and show you the sizes and talk about them.
Yeah, if you want to see all of the size comparisons, send an email to Tom at Nutmeg Notebook. I have a video that I can send you the link for it. It's not published because I haven't dressed it out to put on the regular YouTube channel. But if you're like scratching your head on what bowl to get, I can send that to you. So.
Okay, so Tracy Reese says, if you and Tom were on death row for a crime you didn't commit, what would your last meal be? Can't be anything healthy.
I can't. Well,
wow, I don't know.
Well, see, if that were the circumstances for real, one of the comments you've heard me make in the past about the chopped salads that I eat for dinner is one of the things I like about eating that food that way is you get to eat and eat a long time. I call it grazing. I'm grazing on my chopped salad and all the little delicious different bits that are in there. I mean, I'm going over to the basil bush over there and snipping off a clumpet of fresh basil and sprinkling it in there, and then I use the California Balsamic basil. It's a blonde balsamic with basil infused into it. And so I am just loving this salad, not only because it's delicious, but because I get to, while we're watching a TV program, I get to eat it a long time. And just to keep satisfying the chewing and the tasting. And so I would go, for the sake of extending my lifespan a little bit more, if that were the circumstances, I would stick with the chopped salad.
You would really eat the chopped salad?
Well, because it's going to buy me another 40 minutes.
Well, I love Mexican food, so I would have something. I would have, delicious bean tacos and refried beans and rice and guacamole and my oil-free chips and
okay. Well, she didn't give us an option of sides. If there was an option for sides, then I would add a bunch of other stuff too.
I would totally do a whole like Mexican theme because that's really like my favorite food.
Finished off with chia chocolate pudding.
Yeah, definitely.
Is that published? Chia.
Yeah,
it is. Okay.
It's on the blog. I never did a blog post, but I did put it on there because that was one of the recipes from that Mexican fiesta class that we did for
Amazon.
Which you can still watch it.
Yeah.
On Amazon. One of our Amazon Lives a couple weeks ago, we did a 1-hour cooking class. So it was totally all about the cooking and the food and, not about the equipment we were using. And you can still watch that.
That link is in the show notes because you're going to ask me that next. It says our Amazon channel, https amazon.com/live/nutbook.
Notebook?
No, Nutmeg Notebook. We could rename ourselves Nutbook. It would be shorter. I wonder if that URL is taking.
Probably.
I don't know.
So, okay. I don't know. But anyway, that's where we're at on that. And so you guys probably saw the email that Tom sent out a couple days ago. And I don't know if Reeves is still in the chat with us or not, but if you are, Reeves, we're thinking of you and hope that baby comes soon for you. And Reeves and Dylan from Well Your World just put out their first cookbook. We're so excited for them. So, Well Your World Favorites, it's called. So here's the thing. If you live within the United States, you can order the paperback. When you order the paperback, you also immediately have access to the ebook that you can download. If you live outside of the United States, you can get the ebook and you can order that and you get it immediately.
The ebook can come in your phone.
Yes. If you and so the paperback will be shipped sometime in May. They don't actually have them yet, but they'll be coming, and it'll be shipped in May. You can go ahead and place your order, and if you want to get the free shipping, you get free shipping if your order is $50 or more. And so go ahead and order some other things that you need right now and get your order up to $50. The product will go ahead and ship for free, and when the book comes, they'll ship the paperback book to you. And so we have the ebook. It's lovely. Somebody asked me on Facebook, do the recipes use all of their products? No, they don't. And so the recipes are not dependent on the Well Your World products. So this is an SOS free, which is salt, oil, and sugar-free cookbook. There's over 40 recipes, 45 plus recipes, all whole food, plant-based, all SOS free. Now some might use some nuts in them, but then you always have the option of, substituting beans or something else for the nuts. So it's some of their favorite recipes from their YouTube channel or their cooking classes and things that they love to make, and you will love to make them as well. So, and Dylan's cooking style, as you guys know, is super easy, very laid back. They're not going to be complicated recipes. So whether you're an expert in the kitchen or you're new to cooking, you will enjoy the recipes. Plus there's a plant-based 101. Why are we SOS free? What does whole food plant-based mean? They show you their favorite kitchen gadgets. They talk about calorie density, and they give you recommendation for books that you might want to get in order to help you on your plant-based journey. There's also tips and frequently asked questions in there as well. So super exciting. We're very happy for them, and it gives me inspiration to work on my cookbook as well. So anyway, we're super excited. Please support Well Your World and Dylan and Reeves, and the book is lovely. The ebook is just, the illustrations, the pictures, everything is just beautiful. And so I think that it'll be a nice addition to everybody's kitchen as well. So
you see it correct? Toby's asking a question for Reeves there.
No.
And the book is not spiral bound. It's as we showed it in the picture with the
correct.
Yeah.
It'll be just a regular, binding on it.
Here we go. Yeah.
Do you have that there? Yeah, it'll have a regular paperback binding on it. So, you know, when you start going for spiral bound and all of that, the price goes up so much. They also have beautiful color photos of all the recipes. And, you know, so the offset is, you know, maybe you could get spiral bound and not have all the photos. But when you do all the photos and do spiral bound, then it gets really expensive.
There's a bonus article in the book too. Reeb says that there are love stories in there as well.
We know their love story.
Yeah, but we'll let them tell it.
They shared it with us.
We can talk about the summer of '78 and a storybook romance, but that was 43 years ago.
That was a long time. That was 44 years ago.
For those of you that...
Our first date, do you remember the date?
May 12.
Yeah.
And we went to a movie called FM.
Yeah.
Which was about FM station in San Francisco. And and there was some altercation with an oppressive civic government and about freedom of speech and stuff. And then the studio was raided, and I was just like absolutely on cloud nine. I could not believe that this girl was like out with me. It was so exciting.
And then we went to grandmother's kitchen for dinner.
Yeah.
And I was real friendly with the host.
Yeah, she was talking. She was talking to the waiter, and I was
no,
like...
it was the host that sat us. And you were like, do you know him? I said,
do you know them or something? Or how are you talking to this stranger? So one of her attributes I noticed early on is that she's comfortable chatting with people. So...
Yes.
Yeah. So that trait lends itself well to YouTube, I think.
But what's interesting, though, is that I am an introvert, though. So I I'm really comfortable with people like one-on-one, but like at a conference with a great big room of people, that I find very...
put her on a podium in front of 300 people at
I'm very intimidated.
At one of Chef AJ's conferences or something, and she's just shaking and so nervous, but then when she gets going, then she does really well. So
yeah, but that makes me like sick to my stomach. Oh, Reeves wants to know, speaking of Mexican food, have you tried the chiles rellenos in the recipe in the book? I have not, but I also saw that you guys have a video for that. So there will be a video. And you guys, we have a link to order the book in our show notes as well.
I can drop it in here too.
So
you're on camera one.
Okay, thanks.
I gotta go check show notes and see if I put the link in there. Oh yeah, I did. It's the very first one. Under items discussed in this video, to get the book, go to willyourworld.com/nutmeg. And the very first banner takes you to where you can order the book. So it's only 2 clicks away. So, and I got to get back to YouTube here.
Okay, cool. So anyway, yeah, we're excited about their...
Jessie says she likes your top.
Oh, it's a dress, actually. It's a dress. Thank you so much. Yeah, I got this a couple weeks ago, and I thought, I'm going to totally save that for our anniversary.
That was a nice surprise. I hadn't seen it before. She came around the corner this morning, and I was like, wow, that's such a pretty dress on such a pretty lady. I always try to include everybody, the whole scene, you know. You can dig a hole for yourself. So, which camera? Yeah, you can dig a hole for yourself so fast when you're trying to give a compliment if you're a man. So, is there anybody else out there that can empathize with me on that?
I don't know.
So
that's interesting. You know, I was thinking this morning, Tom, do you remember when we had our 10-year anniversary and we went shopping?
The store clerk.
Yeah, you remember
And it was
that?
on our anniversary.
It was on our anniversary.
And that came up as a mention.
Yeah, and she was like, wow 10 years.
That's a long time to be married.
Then she was like, what's the secret to a long marriage? And we were like, it's only been 10 years, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, I guess in a society where there is so much divorce, that seemed like, wow. I think the one thing for us is we are very compatible. We've always really liked each other. I mean, we love each other, but we also really like each
Yeah,
other.
our first date was a conversation. It was a conversation that lasted hours.
Yes.
So
And
yeah.
we knew right away.
Yeah,
that
we
were
went to
gonna
the
get
movie.
married.
We went to the movie. We went to the dinner, and then I brought Tammy back home to her parents' house, and then we sat in the driveway and we talked, sitting in the driveway. We talked for like another 4 hours,
Yeah.
5 hours.
Yeah, and we knew. We both knew right away.
Yeah,
So
it
we've
was-
been very
It was
compatible.
6 weeks later. We were informally,
Engaged.
secretly engaged after dating for 6 weeks.
Yeah, because we just knew. And we were young because I was 19 when we got married. But one thing that we did is we didn't start our family right away.
We finished growing up before
We finished growing up before that was the one
Yeah.
smart thing
Yeah.
that we did. And our kids, as our kids were growing up, they always said that we were attached at the hip. They were like, you guys can't do anything without the other one. You guys are like attached at the hip.
Yeah.
And we would say, that's because we're in
love.
love.
And then they would go, ah!
Ah! And we would say, well, isn't it better that we like love each other and we want to be together all the time rather
Instead
than
of being Mr. and Mrs. Bickering.
yeah, rather than the opposite of that. And so anyway, so that was always a big joke.
Yeah, Jesse and Richard have been together for 31 years.
Congratulations, that is so awesome. Reeb says she hopes that
And she's hoping for another 100 despite the first 31.
go for it. Go for it. Say, hey, we're going to be one of those people
That's like a Rodney Dangerfield joke. Yep, we've been married for 27 years, and 7 of them have been wonderful.
That's all. I hate that kind of stuff. Reeves says, I cannot wait to sicken our children with our love. That's right. You go for it, Reeves.
Yeah,
and I just want you guys to know I asked if I could be an honorary grandma to the little well-your-world baby, and Dylan said I can. He gave me permission to be an honorary grandma.
Yeah, but
so I'm pretty
but
excited.
as long as you don't-
Because we only have 3 grandchildren. We're probably not going to get any more. And so we'll have him too.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I'm scanning here.
So Kathy says, my husband and I got engaged after 3 months and were married a year after we met. This year will be 29. Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that surprised me yesterday. She said, our first date was May 12th, but then we were married in the summer of 78.
Well, we were going to get married in the summer, but then you were getting transferred.
And
so we decided to move the wedding
Yeah.
up so that I could move with you.
Yeah, so we got married on April 7th. So it was less than a year from when we started dating to when we got married. So because we were going to get married like in August, in mid to late summer.
Yeah.
And then
But then when your transfer came through, we were like, oh, let's just go ahead and move it up and get
yeah, my
married.
company transferred me to out of town to another office, and so we didn't move it up. So
Yeah, so that's what we had to do that. But, everything works out the way it's supposed to.
Oh yeah,
right?
Jesse Bunker is asking a question why Reeves wasn't on the front cover of the book. Reeves does get copy credit inside the front cover. I saw that, and because I kind of thought the same thing.
Oh, and then that
but
beautiful
there's a
picture.
beautiful picture of the two of them that are inside there too. It's just an amazing photo. We liked it so much. We had one
Made for them
printed up on a
her
special
birthday.
frame and sent it to them. So.
Very nice.
So Reeves is in the book, just not on the front cover.
So Nancy says, I was already making and eating chopped salads when I watched Tom make his version over a year ago. I started fixing mine like his, and it led me to making all kinds of salads based on bean spice combos. Thanks. That's awesome. Are we on this camera?
I moved you to the other one because you were
Oh.
talking now.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, so, his salads always do look really good. Tiffany says, Tammy, you look lovely, and Tom, you look lovely as well. Thank you, Tiffany. Tiffany's Tiffany's one of those people that you want to have be your best friend because she's like a little cheerleader, always putting out positive affirmations and I think, she's probably an amazing mom.
So Tiffany motivates us, and Jessie keeps us in line.
Yes.
Is that the story?
Jessie will give you a smack if she thinks you're out of line a little bit.
Only if you deserve it. Okay.
Only if you deserve it.
Jessie,
That's right.
we appreciate your motivations as well.
Absolutely.
Okay, somebody was asking us a question about, Tiffany's asking, do we have wedding photos? Do we?
We do, but they're not where we can get to them right now.
Yeah.
Sue says, have you lived your whole married life in California? No, we moved here in 1989. Tom's job brought us here in 1989. And prior to that...
Same company. Second, that was my third transfer. I transferred 3 times because we went from Nebraska to western Iowa. Then we transferred on the Missouri River. Then we transferred to the Mississippi River. Mm-hmm. And then we lived there for 10 years. Then we transferred to California. Yeah. So I was actually with the same company for 38 years.
I think it came in like at 39.
39 years?
I think so.
39 years? Okay.
Before he retired. So, yeah. So we've been here since 1989. We're originally from the Midwest, and the whole time we were married, we were in Iowa, different
parts
sides
of Iowa.
Of Iowa.
When we
loved
first
it there.
got married, we moved to a little town called Sioux City, Iowa. They were famous for honey there, and they had a little mascot called Sioux City Sue, who was the mascot for the Sioux City honey factory.
Right.
And so people called, and she had red hair, so they called, and Tammy had red curly hair at the time, just like Sioux City Sue, so they called her Sioux City Sue. And so that was right on the Missouri River, which travels the whole west side of Iowa, hence it is the west coast of Iowa. And then we moved there all the way over to what's called the Quad Cities, the town of Davenport, which the east side of Iowa is completely bordered by the Mississippi River, or the east coast of Iowa. So Iowa has 2 coasts, one the full length of Missouri and one the full length of the Mississippi. And we've lived on both coasts of the state of Iowa.
So Doug Safoff says that Patty and I will be celebrating our 45th anniversary this year, and we will be joining you both on the cruise in August.
All right.
That's exciting. We look forward to meeting you. That'll be really fun.
Yeah, that's going to be coming up soon. So
Tracy Reese wants to know, how old is Tom?
I'm 67 going on 68. Yeah, that's right. I'm 67 now.
How old am I?
Well, we have our anniversary on April 7th, and then May happens, and then my birthday's June 1st right away, and so for about 6 weeks out of the year, I'm actually 6 years older than Tammy because her birthday isn't until July 23rd. So I'm actually 6 years older than her for a short period. This kid's only 62 years old right now.
This kid.
Yeah.
Susan.
Thank you, Susan, for the super chat. That's so nice of you to do that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Lots of people are having anniversaries. Cheryl says...
Well, it's getting married in the springtime a thing, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I thought June was the wedding thing.
It is, but we didn't do that. We got married sooner. Yeah. So, but that's all. It's all good.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. No.
And so we went to remind you guys that the California Balsamic vinegar promotion for the month of April is going. We sent out email about that as well. So for every 3 bottles that you buy, you get to pick 2 of the little travel size bottles. And so if you buy 3 bottles, you get 2 of those little travel. If you buy 6 bottles, and it has to be the full size bottles, either the short one or the taller one, not the little bottles. But it's a really good deal. So they do this 3 times a year. So for the whole month of April, and we are now affiliates with them. And then we also just became affiliates with Local Spicery as well. So we have an affiliate link for them as well.
So on the California Balsamic, our standard thing talks about the link and then about getting the 2 free samples. And that's what it says in the show notes. This extra bottle free, as she just described, is a timed thing only for this month.
Correct.
And I don't describe that in the show notes because this video
Will stay up.
will stay up beyond that promotional period. So I'm not mentioning the
Special April promotion.
the promotion and the extra free full-size bottle.
Yeah, but you'll see
in my
it
show notes.
when you
When you go
it
to the
when
site.
you go to
Yeah,
their
but
site.
the Nutmeg link is there
And
for you
those,
to click on.
the
So-
California Balsamics, those are our favorites. And, you know, we love, like, I haven't had a flavor I didn't like, but we do tend to like the savory ones over the fruity ones. The fruity ones are really, really sweet. And so we tend to like maybe a drizzle of that over banana and ice cream.
Or a sweet
Or
potato.
a sweet potato. But otherwise, we like the 7-herb Italian, the sweet heat, the teriyaki, the garlic, Gilroy
garlic, and then the basil one.
The
You know, the
basil.
basil one is mild enough. When I put that, you know, I get on a kick, and I'll find a bottle, and then I'll like use it until it's empty, and then I don't have it anymore. So, if you have your vinegar, then you don't have any vinegar if you have it.
And the dill and mustard
But-
seed I really like in the summertime. That is so great over cucumbers
Yeah,
and
freshens up a
tomatoes.
salad.
And I like the lemon, I like the cucumber, I like the red onion, and a lot of them I like to mix 2 flavors to put like on my salads or my vegetables.
I haven't been that brave, but variety is the spice of a chopped salad. So we do enjoy the varieties. I don't put, you know, there's some in there that like have chocolate or something in them, and then there's a hickory. Some of them don't belong on a salad. They're for other things.
The chocolate orange one is delicious on banana and ice cream.
I guess you could put a trace of the blueberry
pudding.
one. Is there?
You could.
Put a trace of that in there.
Yeah,
So
you absolutely could. But
Okay.
anyway, those are our favorites. And then for local spicery, it's localspicery.com/nutmeg, and that will take you to our landing page, and you can see my favorite spices from them. But you know, they're out of my favorite cinnamon right now. But hopefully they'll get that back in
okay.
soon.
Susan is asking, do we? This is a good question. Do you both score the same on the Big 5 personality test? The one that I recall that we did a while back is the Myers-Briggs, I think
Yes.
it's called. And
I don't think we've done the Big 5.
yeah,
Have
but on the Myers-Briggs, we're both intuitive. She's introvert, I'm extrovert.
I'm feeling and you're thinking.
Yeah, I don't remember what the acronyms were. Feeling, thinking, intuitive, and judging were yours. And I don't.
Oh, did you see that you pointed your finger at me
Oh,
and judged
that's
me?
you're, and I'm accusative.
Judging.
So no, I'm extroverted, intuitive, and I
So-
wasn't judging. It was something else. I didn't have judging on my list.
No. But
So-
some of them say judging and some say like planning or something like that, because I'm very much
Structured.
structured and a planner.
Yeah.
And, you know, and you are more like kind of the seat of your pants and let's, you know, come on, let's do this. You're more spontaneous
Yeah.
than I am. But although I've gotten much better about that over the years, I think.
Yeah. So our Myers-Briggs profiles were complementary, because if you have 2 people both trying to be
The boss.
extroverted or grabbing all the attention all the time, then that becomes an issue. But we don't.
No.
We only occasionally talk over each other. So
Not terribly so.
yeah, what I did is I put the microphone up here where she can't reach it, so she can't grab it and hog it.
Oh,
that
is
way.
that it?
Yeah, that's why
Oh,
it's
you're
way
so
up.
clever.
So
You have so many
anyway.
plans. So little did we know, like 9 years ago, when I was looking at going plant-based, and you know, I had to get up my nerve to tell Tom. So I really educated myself about it so that I could talk to him and tell him the why. And then I did ask him to watch some documentaries with me, and which he was willing to do, and he put on a really good face for me at that time. He
Put
was like,
on a happy face.
"You gonna sing to me now?"
All day.
All day, yeah.
Whether you wanted it or not.
Tom always says that life should be a musical, and so we like to joke and tease about that. And I don't sing. I really don't have a good singing voice, but if I break out into song, he loves that. It just makes him so happy. But anyway, so I got up my nerve, sat him down. He put on a really brave face and said, I'll support you however I can, because he always did, because I was always going on some new diet to lose weight. Although this time it was more about health issues, because I became really conscientious about health in my 50s. And so he was like, but I'll support you however I can. Yeah, it sounds great. Well, what he didn't tell me at the time, that he was feeling like, oh my gosh, she better not tell me I can't eat meat, kind of thing. But he didn't convey that to me. All he was very, very supportive, which he has always been very, very supportive. So I was just so appreciative of that. And so, I dove in pretty both feet, I guess I want to say. Everybody always says cold turkey, but we need a different reference for that. But anyway, and then like the first week of May or so, we had a relative who was at Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota, and we needed to go and spend time with family there. And I had just started eating this way. And so I just got out my Dr. Furman cookbook, because that was the only one I had at that time. And I just made a ton of stuff that was in there, and we packed it in a cooler, and we headed out on a road trip to Minnesota, and did really well. And he ate a lot of the food, because that's what we had with us. And so and that was a good test. Like, I'd only been doing it for a few weeks, and that was a really good test. Like, can you do this and go on the road? And yep, guess what, you can. And we did. And then what happened is, the healthier he was eating at home. At first he was using my food as his side dishes, and then he would go ahead and make some kind of animal product to go with it. But he doesn't love to cook. He loves to barbecue, but he doesn't really love to cook. And so then he just started eating just whatever I had, because that was easier, because it was already made. And then when he would travel, which he was still working at the time, and so when he would travel for work, which was just about every week, he would eat standard American diet food while he was away from home. And what he started to realize was that when he was eating the food at home that was whole food, plant-based, and oil-free, he felt really good. When he was away from home and he ate the crappy stuff, he started to feel crappy. And so once he made that correlation, do you want to talk about that? But you have to come back on camera. Once he made that correlation, then he started seeking out whole foods when he was traveling.
I would be traveling, and literally I would drive to Whole Foods, because I knew I could go to the salad bar there and build, again, a fairly voluminous meal there of healthy stuff. And then I would use the vinegar. Actually, was I carrying vinegars with me? I think I had started carrying vinegars with me in my lunch bag to put on there. There is a balsamic. There was a vinegar bottle, I think, at the salad counter at the time at Whole Foods.
Oh yeah, just a regular balsamic they had. Yeah.
So, and then to show off, because that's what I do, I would text her pictures of my giant salad I built at Whole Foods, just to prove to her what a good boy was I.
And how much did those salads cost you?
Oh my God.
Do you remember?
They were like $12 and $14.
Oh, they were more than that. Didn't you have some that were like 19?
No, they were $12, $14, $15. When we both bought them, when we would both eat at Whole Foods here.
It'd be about $30.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, $14 or $15. Does it matter how much the salad costs as long as it's healthy?
No, but my point was My point was that you were willing to spend whatever it took to have that healthy meal.
Yeah, well, the alternative was spending, what was my McDonald's bill? Because I used to order a very standard fast food.
Okay, don't mention any of
crappy lunch, but that was like $8 at the other of the fast food that was causing me to bump into my steering wheel when I was driving.
Yeah, it's not fun, huh?
Yeah.
So anyway, a year and a half later or so, then you decided to come on board with me completely.
Yeah, we talked about it before. I took a year and a half or so. We didn't track. She has. I'm thinking. I'm fidgeting.
Okay, when you're on camera, you gotta look at the camera.
I spent about a year and a half migrating slowly to fully healthy plant-based because I did rely heavily on the fake meats, and in particular sausages, tofurkey stuff, and field roast. Variety of flavors of sausages and brats kind of things, as well as some plant-based hot dogs. But I kind of realized what I was really after was the pickles and the mustard, I think, and the sauerkraut I used to put on them. So I went through that phase. I very, very rarely eat that stuff now. If we're traveling or something, I'll grab a vegan veggie burger or something to get by. Tami usually has something in her purse because she's that way.
Well, or I'll make a different choice.
Yeah.
But also, you have your body chemistry is different than mine. So LDL cholesterol is an issue for me. Even plant-based, because when I have a lot of stress or chronic pain, which causes stress
makes LDL.
Yeah. Then my body produces more LDL cholesterol, and your body is a little bit different, and you're a man with more rapid metabolism than I have. You have more muscle mass versus.
We were using some app recently, and I can have like 400 more calories a day than you.
Right.
It was a fair.
That was that new bathroom scale we got.
Okay.
That gives us our
Sia
body.
Sia told us about.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Tom has more leeway, and he doesn't gain weight as easily as I do. So he can have more calorically dense food.
If I start getting into too much vegan processed, though, it
adds up fast.
It shows up on the scale. So
sure.
I do have to mind my business.
Yeah, but I'm saying you can have some nuts, you can have some avocado, and you can have a veggie burger out that's on a bun, where, that just doesn't work well for me to be able to do that. So I have to adhere to a more strict food protocol than Tom has to, and I just accept that. Like, you can eat some of the kids' leftovers and stuff like that, and if I did that, I would gain a lot of weight. So you just have more leeway. Plus, you don't have the hypothyroidism. So, it's not fair, but it is the way it is.
But you just had your blood work done, and all your numbers came in the green zone. Yeah. You're green across the board now.
Yeah. So my cholesterol my LDL was at 109, and my triglycerides were 76. And so everything's looking really good. So I feel like, I've had a really good year. I
still have to understand the healthcare system for my age group. The doctor says, we don't really do annual physicals anymore. We only see you really when you get sick, and then there's a Medicare review however often. It's like once you turn 65 and go on Medicare, the idea of your annual physical healthy well visit is just like, okay, well you're going to die pretty soon. You don't need that anymore. I'm going, wait a minute.
Or you're going to come in with some
Or you're going to be in all the time being sick. And so I never get to see my doctor because I don't need to. That's a good thing. But you know what? I'm curious about the maintenance of what's going on with the blood levels.
Well, I just asked. I had to ask because all she was going to test was my thyroid. And so I wrote back and said, no, I have a family history of heart disease and type 2 diabetes, and my vitamin D was low the year before last, and I I'm paying for my insurance and it covers these tests. I want these tests.
Yeah, well,
and then
I need
them.
to dig into that more because it's been now 3 years since I've had a official. Well, I had my Medicare when I first entered the system. When I turned 65, there's an official induction to Medicare visit where the doctor's got to ask you a whole bunch of stuff and counsel you on a bunch of things. And then I don't think I've had one since then because during COVID it just wasn't happening. So TS wants to know, don't you have the scale that Sia referred to us in our Amazon pages?
Yeah, it's in the intermittent fasting page.
Yeah, so if you go to amazon.com/shop/nutmeg notebook, intermittent fasting category, the idea list they're called, and you'll find that scale in there. And you have to sync it to your smartphone, and I lay the smartphone down to it, and then I get on this scale, and then the little smartphone, you get it on the weight thing, and then it lets out the most wonderful, pleasant little chirp
chime.
when your weight is done. So
Yeah.
So I don't know, it's setting you up for a happy psychology when you read your weight? I don't know what that is.
I know, but it is fun that it has the app. And Sia from 60 Living had told us about the scale, and she's like, I know you don't want to get on it all the time to see what your weight is doing. She said, but the nice thing about it is
it gives percentages.
It gives percentages, and she said, and even if it's not
BMI and that kind of stuff, isn't it?
And she's like, so. Even if it's not perfectly matched to, one that you would find like at a doctor's office or a clinic someplace, she said, as long as it's consistent within itself, then you can see trends.
It's relative, yeah.
Then it's relative.
And in the world of scales, it's not that expensive. It's a very, for as much as feature rich as it is, it's very inexpensive.
Yeah.
So I was surprised. I thought, well, what are we going to really get? It's a nice glass. It's nice. It's well made.
It's under $25.
Yeah.
And to have the app with it is really nice because then
Yeah.
you can get a graph and everything on it,
Yeah.
which is really cool. So, anyway, and so then we were telling our story. So then you jumped on with me, and then
you were talking about the transition to the food.
And you jumped on with me, and then we were able to, because I had joined Chef AJ's group. Online Facebook group, and through that we met a bunch of local people, and then we found Linda Middlesworth. We went to the Vegan Society meetings. We started going because our leader of the local Vegan Society is also a McDougler, and so she promotes being
the plant-based
healthy,
lifestyle,
right? SOS free and being healthy, because you can't help the animals if you're not well yourself.
Yeah, she does fight fiercely for animals, the well-being of animals, but she also is very engaged in promoting a healthy plant-based lifestyle, SOS free.
Right. And so from her, then we learned more about the animals and factory farming, and we learned more about the environment. And once you learn all of that, you can't go back and not know it. And so, everything just fell into place for us.
And she brought, it was very reinforcing for me. I'm trying to find the right word. Validating for me, because she brought to town Dr. Neil Barnard. She brought to town Dr. Greger. She brought to town Dr. Esselton.
Lots of different speakers.
She brought to town Dr. Garth Davis. So we've had any number of national level plant-based MDs here offering their view of plant-based lifestyle and what it means to us personally, physically, emotionally, and lifestyle-wise. So that going to those seminars was validating for me to stay on a path. So.
Tiffany says, great scale that Tia recommended, very detailed. It is.
Yeah.
It is a good scale. So, and then what happened was we got to meet Chef AJ in person, and she was like...
At Linda Middlesworth's house.
Yeah, she was like, you should be on YouTube.
I think she's a TV.
Oh, TV, that's right. You should be a TV anchor.
Well, that's because Facebook Live was brand new, had come out a few weeks before this visit. And Chef AJ was excited about this fun new on-air opportunity. And so there were like 25 people at this thing, all, this plant-based
Probably more
gathering
than that,
at Linda Middlesworth's house. And so she started going around with this Facebook Live, broadcasting to her Facebook channel, which was, compared to today, very small, but in the verge of growing. She went around to everybody and had them speak. And so Shy Tammy, she got to her, and and she wanted like a 3-minute version of your story. And so Tammy very eloquently delivered a 3-minute version of her story. And then Chef AJ said, "Wow, you should be on TV. Are you on TV? Are you a broadcaster?" So Chef AJ saw the possibilities from the very beginning. What happened after that?
Well, and then, when Linda Middlesworth found out that I liked to cook, then she contacted me and said, would you consider teaching some cooking classes locally? Because I have a ton of people that want to learn how to cook, and they want to follow this lifestyle, but they don't know how to make the food. And then her and Chef AJ started putting pressure on me about that. Like AJ was like, you need to have a YouTube channel. You need to share how to cook food this way and share what you have figured out in your batch cooking. And that's how we ended up getting started. We started doing cooking classes in our house. We'd have like 24 people. This kitchen is really big. And so we would move our kitchen table out and we set up folding chairs, and we would have like 24 people at a time come. And then we started teaching weight loss classes, and people would come once a week for 4 weeks at a time, and I would show them how to make the food and do a lecture. And that's how we got started. And that was going really strong until the pandemic hit. And then, of course, everything had to go virtual. But it was through the encouragement from Chef AJ and Linda Middlesworth that we ended up doing what we're doing here today. So ladies, if you're watching, thank you so much for being amazing mentors to us.
Yeah, your very first published video is you sitting at the dining room table talking about the
journey,
your plant-based journey, the very beginning of it. And was that something you did for one of Chef AJ's programs? And then we decided to put it on YouTube so people could watch it?
Well, I did it to put it on there so people that were in the Ultimate Weight Loss Program could go and watch it if they wanted. Because people were always asking, how long have you been plant-based? And why did you go plant-based?
Yeah.
And that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, and we've just met, the most amazing people through being plant-based. We have, a whole social network in our community now that are all plant-based. And then the question comes up, did any of your family go plant-based? Well, our son and our daughter, of course, they were already out on their own and adults. And they started researching and looking up plant-based. They wanted to make sure mom and dad weren't doing something stupid. And so then, through their own research, then they discovered that, oh my gosh, we should all be doing this because, I have a family history, medical history of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and Alzheimer's. And then Tom's family also had heart disease and a lot of cancer. And so once we discovered the correlation between lifestyle choices and disease, it was no brainer. We all need to be eating this way, given our medical history and our genetics. And so our 3 grandchildren from our daughter, they are all whole food plant-based. And of course they eat more of an Engine 2 type diet because they have bread and pasta and that kind of thing. They can be more liberal. They don't have to be as strict food protocols as I have to adhere to. But and then our son he's probably about 95% because he'll still have a little bit of animal products now and then. But
yeah, I think he's
great.
More of a pescatarian, something he does a little, yeah.
a little bit of
Not 100%.
a little bit of fish now and then or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for the most part, I mean, the other day when he called, I said, "Oh, what have you been cooking lately?" And he said, "Oh, I made quinoa." He was like, "I didn't have all of the ingredients." He's like, "So I had to kind of, just use what I had." But he's like, "I made quinoa." So that's one of our recipes. It's on the blog.
Yeah. Bet Vegan Trugger's talking to Jesse about cheese sauce.
Okay. Yeah, so on the Chipotle nacho cheese sauce, you guys, it is pretty spicy, and you can totally pull back on the spices. Like, spices haven't really been agreeing with Tom, that real hot spicy lately, and so I've really toned that down.
And it makes it just a regular, but very, very flavorful cheese
sauce.
Yeah.
So you can leave out the jalapeno. You can cut back on the Chipotle chili powder, because the Chipotle chili powder is spicy hot, and then depending on like chili powder, just regular chili powder, can vary greatly from brand to brand. So just depends on.
We'll grab that scale and drop it in the show notes.
Oh, perfect.
People are asking about.
Okay, Tom's gonna give you guys a link to that, to the scale that
In the show notes, not in the chat.
Yeah, he's gonna put it in the show notes. Can you put it in the chat?
Yeah, I will. I can.
Yeah, he can put it in the chat for you too. So anyway, when we get together for the holidays, what's nice is everybody's very receptive to the fact that, it's going to be whole food, plant-based. And I will make richer foods for them. Now, my lasagna recipe, I just make the lasagna recipe just like it is. But for a faux parmesan for my family, I will make it out of almonds, and I'll have the oat one, but I will make one out of almonds for them, because our grandson is allergic to cashews, hazelnuts, and pistachios, so we can't have any of those nuts in the house. But I can make a faux parmesan with the almonds and garlic powder and nutritional yeast, and it tastes great. So I will make more richer foods for them, and I will make them like a Caesar dressing, but I'll make it with almonds instead of the tofu, just because that appeals more to their palate. But we get together, and I can make everything gluten-free, and if we're getting together and they're having like a regular cake or something for a birthday celebration, then I will just go ahead and make myself one of my desserts, one of my puddings or ice cream, or my peanut butter chocolate chip blondies, or my chocolate cherry brownies, and I'm perfectly happy having one of my gluten-free, sugar-free, oil-free desserts. And that doesn't bother anybody. And we always have tons of fresh fruit as well. And our son-in-law, he will eat whatever we make plant-based, but he's not 100%, but just by default, because that's what our daughter cooks for their 3 children and herself. I mean, he eats a lot of plant-based food. So we just feel like, without having to, get on a soapbox and preach about it, we just have set like a good example. And then it's amazing the people who want to then follow along. We've had no impact on our families outside of our immediate family. However, I do just want to say that. And I finally had to just accept that, because I thought, well, if Dr. Doug Lyle and Dr. Goldhammer say that they weren't able to influence their family members, what makes me think that I can? That's also why it's great to have the YouTube channel, the blog, the Instagram, and Facebook, where people who are interested in it come to our resources, and they're interested in what we're having to say. And, if people have an interest, then they're much more receptive to what you're saying. So anyway, Tom just dropped a link in the chat for the scale. It's the RENPHO body fat scale. So he dropped our affiliate link in there. TS says, is there anything that can be used in place of nutritional yeast for the slight cheesy flavor? Found out my stomach does not like it, whether it's non-fortified or not. Well, I'm wondering if maybe if you, if you had some plant-based yogurt that was sugar-free, that would have a little bit of that tang to it. I think that with the right spices in a cheese sauce without the nutritional yeast, it will still taste good. So maybe just try leaving it out. Like in my pasta sauce, if you leave it out of there, you're really not going to notice much of a difference in my marinara. Tiffany, do you have any substitutions for the flavor that the nutritional yeast provides? I know that I read someplace, but now at this very moment, I cannot think of them. But Google, what can you replace nutritional yeast for in recipes to get that little bit of cheesy flavor? So, okay, 2 other things I want to tell you before we go. We've already done an hour. Can you believe that? An hour goes by so fast.
And we got to mention the new magazine too.
Okay, so what's coming up is next week we have Nan Simonson, and she will be our guest, and she's going to talk about how to age powerfully. So we're super excited about that. So she works with patients at Lifestyle Medical General Practice in Riverside, California. You guys may have seen her.
Isn't she a cutie?
She is. You may have seen her on Chef AJ's channel.
Here, I can switch over here.
Okay, and she's really delightful. So we're very excited about that. So that will be next Thursday. She will be here with us. And then 2 weeks from today, not yet, don't hold that up yet. 2 weeks from today on the 21st.
You tell me what to do.
I am. Our friend Elspeth from Speedy Vegan is going to be here. And I believe she's going to be doing a cooking demo for us. So she's getting ready to put up a new cooking course. And I believe it's over 2 different days because she has so many recipes.
It's a live cooking course.
Yes, and her food is absolutely amazing, and she plates everything so beautifully, and you're gonna love it. And so that will be 2 weeks from today, and then 3 weeks from today, you can hold this up. Then Kristen Hung from Fridge Love is going to be with us, and we have followed.
She's on the back cover here.
Yeah, we have followed each other on Instagram for a long time. She is nutritarian, and she batch preps, but if you saw that, the pictures are just amazing of her refrigerator.
That's a familiar looking scene.
Look at that. But even like she is like notches up above me with what she does in her refrigerator. Mm-hmm. And so it's there are recipes in this book, but also she has all kinds of storage tips, like, you know, how to make your vegetables and your fruits last longer, and where to store them and how to store them.
You've got lots of storage and organization stuff, but this is leveling up from there even.
Yeah, like so she's like super organized, and she was an attorney, and now she's, you know, got this incredible Instagram account and this beautiful book. So super excited to talk to her because we share a love of wanting to make healthy, delicious food, have it look amazing, and open up your fridge and have that be what you see. And she takes it to a whole new level. That I told her that I do have fridge envy when I look at her Instagram account, because, you know, it's just her refrigerator is so beautiful. But she has one that's designated just for her stuff because her family doesn't eat like her. So anyway, you guys, that is what we have coming up in the next few weeks. And I know some people have been sending us emails with suggestions for people that they would think that we would enjoy having on the program. And feel free to do that if you'd like, or if there's a topic that you would like. I've also been getting a lot of emails about hypothyroidism. And if you go back to a couple weeks ago, we interviewed Dr. Nikki Davis, and take a look at that video because we did talk to her about hypothyroidism. And so you can get some really good, solid information out of that video about that. And of course, if you have medical questions, we do suggest that you try to get an appointment, have a consult over Zoom or over the phone with one of the plant-based doctors.
And Nikki Davis's interview goes into some detail about reaching out, finding out what doctors serve your state, and that because there are some licensure issues that need to be adhered to in that process. But they help you filter through that and find someone that can help you.
That's right. And so plant-based telehealth is the one of the websites that you can go to. And also the True North Health Center in Santa Rosa, California, they also do they call it coaching. And so their doctors are not actually able to prescribe medications from the True North Health Center for their Zoom or online consultations. But through plant-based telehealth, they can do that. So, and it seems to be pretty reasonably priced. They don't accept medical insurance at this time, so you do have to pay for those consults out of pocket. But I've recommended that to a number of people who have
It'd be less than the oil change I paid for yesterday.
It would be. But I've gotten emails back from some people who have followed through and had consults and have been very happy with doing that. So that is just a heads up. And then you wanted to talk about NHA.
Speaking of health, we got word from Mark Huberman just a few days ago that the new issue, the spring issue of Health Science magazine, has gone to the publishers, and many of you are already signed up. Thank you, as members of the National Health Association. If you are not, you can go to the link I put in the show notes, healthscience.org/join. And for $35 in the U.S., you can join, and then you will receive this wonderful publication 4 times a year. For the one that's just coming out to be on the list for the send on that, you want to sign up before the 8th, which is tomorrow. So you've got Thursday today and Friday tomorrow to get on the publisher's email list for that. So if you're not signed up, take a look at that. Take a look at that link. The wonderful thing about it is, and I did put, if you're subscribed to nutmegnotebook.com, you already have a sneak peek of the front cover. Dr. Ornish is on there. There's top tips from many of the plant-based creators, Tami being one of those. There's some of her stuff in there, and a couple of other wonderful articles. But go to the website and join there. You get access to not only the upcoming issue, but electronic versions of all past issues. Absolute,
keep you busy for months.
Absolute gold mine of articles and recipes. So I can't imagine what treasures lie in there. So anyway, so yeah, take a look at that. Link is in the show notes. And
then also Tiffany, who's one of our moderators, she has a beautiful Instagram account and Facebook. So it's Invite Plants to Every Meal. So if you're not following her currently on Instagram or Facebook, do so, because she posts the most gorgeous pictures of her food and lots of recipes. So check that out as well.
Yeah, her Instagram is very inspiring.
It is. Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, it is. So we want to thank Jesse and Tiffany for being here with us and helping us out. You guys, we only have 14 thumbs up on my screen. How many do you have over there? Please give us some more thumbs up if you liked this show today, and subscribe. And if you haven't subscribed to our Nutmeg Notebook blog, go over to nutmegnotebook.com and subscribe, because Tom sends out an email when we have newsworthy information to share with you, like, the California Balsamic having their special for the month of April, for, Well Your World. Reeves and Dylan texted us a couple days ago and said, hey, we've got our cookbook ready to go. If you guys want to talk about it, please feel free to do so. And so we try to help you know what's going on in the plant-based community too, so that you don't miss out on wonderful things that are happening in the community. So, and we enjoy, we've got a whole bunch of spam here.
No, it's all taken care of.
Okay. And we enjoy promoting what other people in the plant-based community are doing as well, because we don't feel like we're in competition with anybody else. We feel like there is space for all of us within the community, and we need to lift each other up and promote one another, because we are a very small segment of society, and we need to share resources with people. So are we going to go back to
Nancy Greer saying, who knew I'd be so happy? Okay, I think this is who knew I would be so happy prepping salads? I love completing and putting the stacks in the fridge.
Yes, it's so rewarding, isn't it? So I always say I have a sense of peace about me once I get my batch prep done. And I've gotten to the point now where we are so busy that I do the bare minimum on the weekend. I get starch made, which is usually potatoes and some kind of a grain. I'll get potatoes and sweet potatoes and a grain made, and I'll get our salads made, and then I might do some salad dressing, although we burn through it. I've got to start doing what Tiffany does. She makes a double batch of the ranch, and I need to start just making a double batch because we go through it so fast.
Yeah, I have
it's
to ask,
so good.
Is this last bit of ranch, like, should I go ahead and eat it?
And last week I used
or
it.
Or are you planning on having it in your salad tomorrow or tonight? I don't want to get in trouble for eating the last bit of salad dressing, so it kind of becomes a coveted thing.
Well, like the cheese sauce, I make his and hers. The ranch, I need to make his and hers and label one bottle for you and one bottle for me, maybe.
And then I eat mine, and then I ask if there's.
And then you ask if you can
yours.
have, yeah.
So I'm not sure what that accomplishes in the end.
Well, at least it makes me feel like mine is sovereign if I do want it, maybe.
At least you're going to get a shot at your fair portion.
And then last week I made a chickpea salad with that ranch dressing, and that was really good. We took that on the picnic with us.
Yeah.
That was really good. I did see somebody in there said, are you guys going out to eat today, or are you cooking at home? And if you're cooking at home, what are you making?
Yeah.
And actually we are going out for lunch. It's gonna we're gonna go see, Tom really loves the ocean, and I really love the mountains. And so today we're headed up to the mountains.
Yeah.
And there's some quaint little towns that we really like that have some vegan restaurants where we can get pretty healthy
And so we have
food.
a plan A and a plan B, because one vegan restaurant changed hands, and so we don't know what their menu is.
Yeah, and they don't have it posted online, so
and
we're
they
going to
have
go there.
beautiful outdoor seating, so we're going to go check that out. But if they have taken vegan off the menu, then we have another place that we've actually visited 2 years in a row
for our anniversary.
For our last two pandemic anniversaries. This will be our third pandemic anniversary.
Yeah. And then there's a little ice cream shop that we like to go to that has vegan options.
Right in the old town.
Yeah.
This is a historic mining town, so this is all from 1849. Some of the buildings are, it's just very historic. It's like stepping into an old movie, an old Western or something.
So they have like a cashew-based vegan ice cream that we'll get.
Yeah.
So it's going to have sugar in it.
It's a treat day.
It's a treat day. So this is like our like a treat day. We do this once a year. So that's what we'll be doing today. And then depending on how late we eat, we, may not eat any dinner. What I've been doing a lot lately is because my salad or my, whatever I'm eating at lunch, which a lot of times it's chopped greens in the bottom. It's not actually my salad, but it's kind of like a chopped salad. But I'm so full from that with the sprouts and the starch in it that I'm just not very hungry for an evening meal. So I've been doing a lot of fruit and raw vegetables and having that be my evening meal.
Mm-hmm. It looked good last night.
It was good. Yeah, that was good. And I had a muffin.
It's almost like you were having fruit dessert for your evening entree. So
I know, but I also had jicama and stuff with it too.
Yeah.
So anyway, but thanks so much,
how's
you guys.
the weather for outdoors today? It's supposed to be in the mid-80s.
Yeah, should be nice. I'll take a little jacket. I'll take my jean jacket.
Yeah.
You'll take a jacket because it'll be cooler.
Yeah, it's already 72 right now.
Yeah,
so,
it'll be cooler.
Yeah, we're going up
Sierras.
we're going up about 1,500 feet, so we'll lose about 3 degrees.
Yeah.
So.
And if we're in the shade, then it will be cooler. A ranch chickpea salad, Tiffany. It was really good. Really, really good. But yeah.
Okay.
Ranch, yeah, you're right. She says that, Jessie says, I don't think there's anything at all that ranch dressing will not make better. It's true. And Tom feels the same way.
Yeah.
Right? You love that ranch dressing. He's like, he gets so excited about his salad when I have the ranch dressing made.
Yeah, it just makes it so much, I love the vinegar flavors, but the ranch makes it rich and creamy, and so it's just a whole different experience.
Yeah. Well, you get the fat from the tofu.
That's what's going on. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it does make it taste really great.
Okay.
All right. Well, this was so much fun, you guys.
Thank you, moderators, Tiffany and Jessie, and
thank you for being here.
I saw you had some good troll hunting today. Thank you for taking care of that business. And we will see you next week.
Yeah, we'll be here next Thursday. And we'll be interviewing Nan, and it should be a really fun morning. We're excited. And thanks for joining us on Thursdays and accepting the move that we made to Thursdays. We have to say that the last weekend was just like wonderful. When Friday came, we had this sense of, we get the weekend off.
Yeah.
We were so excited. It's amazing the difference that it has made mentally for us.
Yeah.
A big mental shift as well. And then we were able to go on a picnic with our family.
A little hike.
And do a little hike. And so it's turning out to be a really powerful thing for us and our family.
Okay, great.
I'm Tami.
And I'm Tom.
And we help you get healthy and stay healthy. One meal at a time.
Bye-bye.
See you next time. Love you guys. Bye.
Do you think there'll be more kissing?
Probably.